What's going on, Void? I'm just an angry NPC, and welcome for another night. Let's get it started. All right. Let me see here. I got a group chat going on my Discord. We're discussing this weekend. We have plans. We have plans to do some streaming, and we're gonna get together and do some streaming. Um, sorry about that. We're gonna get together. The plan is to get together this weekend and do a little bit of streaming, go live, and play some Minecraft. So these guys have all played Minecraft before. I have not played Minecraft before. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't jumped into Minecraft. My son likes Minecraft, I guess, really into it. And it's my way to get him into gaming, which obviously is a rite of passage. I'm a gamer. My son's got to get to the point where he can at least play video games. So, working on that with him, Minecraft ended up being the thing he got stuck on. Mainly played Pixelmon. I don't know what that is, but so we're going over this weekend. Plan is everybody jumps on the PC and we're gonna run some Minecraft. And these guys are talking about whether or not we're gonna mod up, do modded servers or realms, whatever they're called. I didn't know realm was what they called the server, but I guess it is. But these guys are like, are we doing mods or what? Not a bad one. Most people like Cobblemon now. I don't know what any of that means. I'm gonna request we do no mods. That way it doesn't come off so overwhelming. It's like we're trying to figure out who's gonna be in it. And so right now it looks like there's 4 of us. And these guys are like, I could play normally if you want to start. Xbox might be more ideal though for at least a month. I like mods, but I watched the video on the latest update. Vanilla looks brand new game. When did they add frogs? A couple years ago. Spirit along the Sulfur Cube, I believe, or the newer added stuff. The spears alongside the Sulfur Cube, I believe, are the newer added. I have no idea what any of this stuff is. Yeah, the last time I played Vanilla was 2020. Mainly played Pixelmon. Not a bad one. Most people like Cobblemon now. This dude says never heard of her. Same thing, just made them look blocky in Minecraft, pretty much. I don't know what the fuck any of this stuff is. This sounds so gay. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Can we go vanilla to start? Everything sounds so overwhelming. I just want to tell myself to shut the fuck up. Crybaby ass bitch. He thinks we should play the Xbox to start. Yeah, it looks like He says he'll check it out. I'm telling these guys we should try on the Xbox. I've been playing with I mean, these guys are saying we should try the Xbox to start, but I was on the Xbox with my son to start, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm not paying Microsoft for Game Pass. I'm not paying Xbox for Game Pass. It's not happening. I'll never give Microsoft another dollar or Xbox. I won't give these guys another dollar. For the last 15 years, I championed Xbox. Every time they came out and lost against PlayStation, I championed them. I just started on PlayStation. I started with the PS1. That was my first taste of like next gen. And PlayStation 1 was insane. That was it after that. PlayStation 2 came out, Xbox came out, and then the battle started, but Xbox was so new. I had already seen what PlayStation was doing, so I jumped into Xbox and it seemed so new and underdog like. I was like, "Yo, I'm in. I've always been the underdog. I associate with the underdog, love the underdog. Let's do the underdog story." All right, I'm behind Xbox on this. What a mistake that was. 20 years go by and Xbox is like, "Yeah, we're giving up all our exclusives. We're not even making consoles anymore. We're not doing this. We're not doing that." And everyone's like, "What the fuck was the point, dude? What was I here so long for?" I had my cousin telling me some nonsense about how it's not that bad and fuck that. We're all entitled to our opinions, but your opinion sucks. I told him the Steam bot when the Steam machine came out. He was talking about how it was between 6 and 800, and I was like, "There's not gonna cost 600. It's gonna cost $1,000 for the cheap one." He's like, "No, it's gonna be between 6 and 800." For him, he couldn't understand how I was getting $1,000 for my price on the low end, and this was like 4 months ago, 5 months ago. Couldn't see it. He's like, "That price is too high. Like, there's nothing that's causing the price to be that high. You're just." I'm not fear mongering. I'm paying attention to where the prices are going. Because at first it was just RAM people were talking about. But anyone who sort of understands how that shit works, you guys know what's gonna happen. Little by little. Oh, that's dope. I really like that. I'm gonna try and figure that out in the future so I can make better uh lives. But yeah, anybody with an idea of how it works could see that, yo, RAM's not the only thing they're gonna need. And once RAM prices start going up, other things are gonna become expensive too. If the reason RAM prices are going up is the reason they're going up, which was AI. And since AI was the thing, AI didn't need just the RAM. AI needed a lot more than just the RAM. These other components that we use in gaming were needed in this AI shit. So off rip, I was like, dude, they're only talking about RAM, but that's not the only thing AI is going to be using that everyone else uses. And if AI is doing that to RAM, they're going to be using it. They're going to be doing it to everything else that they touch. So the only logic was if RAM's going up, everything associated with that is going up, and everything associated with that is going up. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where other components now cost more just because RAM costs more, and then it becomes the chase. The consumer is chasing the product that's being purchased by AI, by the AI, whatever you want to call it. And so now you have people paying business prices for consumer products that are being sold to businesses now. A consumer product is now a business product. That's effectively what happened. And AI can afford to pay way more than we can. because AI is massive tech companies. And so when I saw that they were talking about 6,800, I was like, I don't see how that's possible, given how much of an increase each incremental increase on these prices for RAM was. Everything else started to go up. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense how you were going to be able to have a product that was that cheap when the components were prices were skyrocketing. I couldn't see it. So I said, nah, there's something off here. This bubble's about to bust. My cousin's like, nah, it's not gonna cost that much. He's already bought, a bunch of RAM. I'm like, if a company buys a product, let's say they buy RAM, right? The time they buy RAM, it's like 50 cents a stick. And after they buy the RAM, prices shoot the fuck up. They skyrocket to the point where not only is it breaking records, it's changing how RAM is purchased and who purchases it. It's no longer the consumer who's buying RAM, it's the companies that are buying the RAM. And so instead of it being direct to consumer, it's direct to businesses, it's direct to AI agents. So they're getting all that fucking RAM. You're not winning against the guy who's getting RAM for his AI setup. But eventually the numbers caught up, or at least the understanding that the numbers don't make sense caught up. And then it was like, oh wait, it can't cost $600 to $800 for the Steam machine. It has to cost more than that. Bro's not so 50 cents for the stick, right? Then they go and right before they go to sell the product that they bought the sticks for, the price of a stick goes up tenfold. So instead of 50 cents, it's $5 a stick. So you went and bought sticks, a bunch of money's worth of sticks that you now have at 50 cents, right? You were a consumer who purchased a liability effectively. You purchased a consumable. That consumable became it became a fucking asset when it 10x its value while you were still holding on to it. Because now you put that into Steam machines and you sell them for $600, and every single Steam machine you sell is being sold at a loss. Not at a negative, but at a loss. A negative means less than zero is what is going to be made. A loss means you miss out on money that could have been made. So you can still end up at zero with a major loss. But a negative is exactly that. It's a negative. So you end up with a major loss, right? Because even though you bought them 50 cents each, when you go to sell them, they're worth $5 each. You have the opportunity now to sell the Steam machine because of the fact that the sticks cost what they cost now. You can say RAM prices are this, Steam machine has to cost this. Yeah, I paid this much when it came out. But market price, which is one of the stupidest ways to price something. There isn't a thing on this planet that should be priced by using market pricing. And if you don't know what market pricing is, what I'm talking about is a centralized price for a product like oil. Because what will happen is the price will go down for the barrel, and it has to go down for the gallon and all this other stuff. And it's supposed to be in sync. It's not. So you have the price of oil being something, and then you have to do this retarded formula so you can figure out how much gas costs. But anyways, Reckless Ben. Bro's a gangster. Yeah, I'm not clicking on that, bro. I'm not clicking on that, bro. Pastor facing 60 years in prison for scamming over
allegedly running a nationwide forced labor operation that profited him over $50 million over the course of a decade. And this is all while his victims were working without pay in call centers across 4 states and lived under what federal agents called slave-like conditions.
I don't even. All right. Pastor, what? You're a pastor? Why the fuck are all these TV pastors so fucking disgusting with their behavior? Who's that white guy who bought a plane? That pastor who bought a jet? Every time I saw an edit with this dude, there would be this demonic edit where he's just like red eyes and they put horns on him and this evil laugh when he's buying his fucking jet. I guess some lady came and she was a reporter and she's just asking him about the shit. And the dude just like became possessed. He's like, oh yeah, come close to me. I didn't see the actual interview, but I'm just trolling that this fucking dude is a creepo. And it's always these pastors. What is it with these pastors? It's like, come to the house of God. There's that video of the black church. And the pastor, I was like, is your congregation your enemy? Is that like the opposition? He's like, some of y'all be coming to church and don't have nothing to offer the offering dish or whatever the hell he says. And I'm like, is this dude getting at people for not donating? And he's like, you come here for a free ride? I'm like, my brother in Christ, you got this shit crazy. You're selling services is what you're doing. You're selling the service of preaching to these people. If you need them, if you're coming at them about not paying some money towards the church offering. Imagine being broke. Imagine being a piece of shit and you're like, I need saving. Like I need someone to save me. And you decide I'm going to give God a chance. And you go and you try to be as honest and real about it. You want to see what it's about, if it's real, and you get there and you're a broken man, fucking destroyed. Things in life have just been, today might be your last day if something else goes bad. And then you walk into this church. And this fat, soggy motherfucker sitting there talking about, if you don't got $5 to put into the dish, why are you here? Could you imagine if this dude had a chance at like fucking with church in the future? You're not going to church after that. Oh, it's like that. You guys are just out here selling shit. It's like Avon ladies that own churches. The fuck? That guy leaves and they're like, this guy doesn't, why don't you fuck around with the church? I mean, fuck the church. You can't even go to church unless you got money for the offering table. And to him, that's the whole truth and nothing but the truth because he has anecdotal evidence. He went through that shit. He went to a church and they did him like that. So he's going to walk around like, nah. And then people hear that and they're like, that's bullshit. There's no fucking way that happened to that guy. Now you have a difference of opinion. Welcome to America. This is what we're living in right now. Oh shit, I got viewers. What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a good night. Anton putting us on, letting me know the old Neptune picture, as you see on the left, this is a synopsis of it because I love his channel. So Neptune has been viewed as this dark blue planet when the reality is it's this light blue planet. And apparently the misunderstanding was that they released an image back in the day and it was just shitty printing. Like the colors were all fucked up, but it was just to dramatize the contrast in the photo to show the difference in all these things. So the colors were super vibrant. And they were like, oh, that's what Neptune looks like. So for like 25, 30 years, everyone's just like, Neptune's dark blue. And scientifically, they were believing this. And then one guy was just like, hey, did anyone read this paper here? This thing has like a caveat that says this isn't the actual color of it. And then they like stopped sciencing real quick. And we're like, hold on. And then they all got together and we're like, let's check that shit out real quick. And then they double checked it and was like, oh, fuck. Neptune's been the wrong color for 40 years. Anton's like, they tried to quietly do it. Anton's like, nah, we're not letting that slide. Yo, everybody, these motherfuckers fucked it up for 40 years. Gave us the heads up and put us on. I'm still upset Pluto's not a planet anymore. You know what's funny? We're supposed to be, as you were taught in school, 9-planet solar system. And the reality is our solar system probably has hundreds of planets. So it'd be more accurate for us to be a, you know, a 100-planet solar system instead of an 8-planet solar system, or 9, depending on what side of 1990 you were born on. Yeah. And then there's planets that don't revolve around a star. There's rogue planets that just they're out there just flying in the darkness. And I don't mean small planets, Earth-sized planets, even bigger than that. Just off the leash. Every weekend at the club. Couldn't be that kind of a planet. I need some stability in my life. I need a star to tell me who's in charge. Otherwise, I'm gonna be acting up with all these asteroids and these fast comets. Poor fucking people getting robbed by a pastor. Our Father who art in heaven. Did that nigga just take my wallet? Oh, Ben Crump. Every time I see this fucking guy, I see Ben Crump joins ABC News Live as family of Nolan Wells launches investigation into his death. Nolan Wells, that's the kid from the boat, ain't it? That story immediately sounds suspect. This kid just found dead on a boat. Questions on air. Trump takes questions on Air Force One. Air Force One. Oh, the new one? The new Air Force One? That he was given by fucking these folks from the Middle East? The optics on that aren't too good there, Mr. President. I wouldn't trust anything that I get from these people, but I'm also pretty ignorant to this shit. So Trump's message to people living under communist regimes. Damn. Brazilian couple now fighting to avoid prison after homeschooling their 2 daughters. A court sentence. Wait, is this in America? If this is in America, this is nuts. Brazilian couple now fighting to avoid prison after homeschooling their 2 daughters. A court sentence. Aldato. And is that an L or an I? I'm going to assume. Wait, is that an L or an I? That's an I. It's the first letter of a name, so it'd be capital I. Aldato and Ayeda Denardi to 50 days behind bars, ruling they committed intellectual neglect by teaching their children outside a state-approved curriculum. Hold on. You guys aren't going to sit here and say that the parents were teaching their kids state-approved curriculum, so they were neglecting their children intellectually. There's no fucking way that's what you're saying. According to their legal team, the judge cited the family's failure to include lessons on gender, sex education, tolerance and diversity, and even you're wildin'. Even pointed to the girl's preference for religious and classic music over popular genres. This smells really like left-leaning, like super liberal. The parents say that they began homeschooling during COVID-19 pandemic after losing confidence in their daughter's schools. They remain free while appealing. Their lawyer believes is the first criminal prosecution of its kind in Brazil. Oh, okay, so this is in Brazil. Damn, Brazil, what is going on over there? Reading that shit, that's like a story title out of the UK. The shit that I'm reading out of the UK, every time I read it, I'm like, that's not true. That can't be true. It's like some guy they showed a video. He was like walking, and then this I think he had his bike with him, and this black dude went and I mean like Street Fighter straight kick. Jumped up and Street Fighter straight kicked him right in the chest. Dude falls to the ground, and they go to arrest him. Bro, what? Arrest the dude? You can only get this from eating human meat. They're gonna try and say she's got some like cannibal disease. Smarter, not harder. Adult Swim, baby. Oh shit. That looked pretty insane. Let's see what we got for the news. U.S. General Command says American forces have begun additional strikes against Iran, according to CENTCOM. Oh, the strikes were ordered. President Trump aimed at further degrading Iran's ability to threaten freedom navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. He wasted all this time. He wasted all this time playing fancies with them. Like, my brother, you should have been fucking tore their shit up. Been tore them up. You can't sit there and yell about how intolerant they are and all this other shit and then treat them the opposite of how you're portraying them. If they're intolerant, we treat them as such. We show them no patience. Make them feel rushed, make them feel insignificant, make them feel like they're not in control because they're not in control. If they don't like it, you hit them. If they still have an attitude, you hit them again. I'll tell you right now, I have lived a life of people getting punched in the mouth. And I can tell you, I have never seen anyone outlast getting punched in the mouth. I've never seen it. Scariest looking person in the world. You start punching them in the mouth, and eventually that person's going to give in. We should have been punching them in the mouth, not asking them if they're willing to negotiate. Just start wiping the fucking floor with them and then have them begging us to come to the table. Please, 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 just come talk to us. Stop hitting us. I don't believe any of what they say when they act like they're about to negotiate with us. I feel like they're incapable, mainly because the religion views a lot of what we do as sin, and Sharia law prevents entertaining it. So you can't laugh at sin and shit like that. You can't be passive on it or anything like that. You have to be vocal. You have to like be working towards a remedy. So if there's a group of people that are getting away with something that's against Sharia law, and your job is to work towards fixing that in your eyes. Like Mamdani. Mamdani was shown celebrating Pride Run. all that love and shit, right? And then what happened? That Sharia law shit came. They were at that meeting with their Muslim folk, and they came in knocking, talking about, that Islam don't allow that. And Mamdani was like, don't worry, it'll be the last one. So while these liberals enjoy championing for certain people, they got a wake-up call coming when they go to champion for the people that kick them the fuck out. I think Iran has some people that are really good people. They have a population that is, the civilian population is really good in terms of wanting to just live. But they're run by a regime. It doesn't matter what you want. If the regime is strong enough, the regime gets what they want. That's not why I got on today. I'm hot. Oh shit, we're about to give Ukraine the Patriot missiles. Graham Plattner suspends main Senate campaign, maintains innocence. This is the dude who has I guess this guy has Nazi tattoos. He's being accused of rape, a bunch of other shit. And I guess the Democratic Party is championing him. Which is fucking funny because I'm pretty sure there's been a few instances where they were Republican candidates that had fucked up backgrounds, or their history was pretty shady, and they were defending themselves tooth and nail. And these Democrats were rioting on these people they were pieces of shit for even attempting to run for office, knowing they were that type of person. I mean, look at Trump. They will not let you forget that Trump has a criminal record. But then they're championing for this Graham Plattner guy. It's odd. Odd behavior all around. So I don't like the whole Democrat versus Republican thing. It's too simple. Doesn't account for any of the nuance in America. Life and death in the Paleolithic. TikToker sued by $1 billion company for a challenge, huh? Infinite money glitch. Oh, I love y'all. Every single person who did that infinite money glitch. That was some of the most entertaining shit in the world. Watching you fucking retards go and do the infinite money glitch and then find out that you're just a retard and there is no infinite money glitch. And you just owe them money. A lot of money now. It's one thing to fuck your credit up. It's another thing to fuck up your background because of doing some criminal shit because you're that dumb. But here we are. And shout out to BetterHelp. What a shitty, shitty, shitty company. And they get championed a lot. People love BetterHelp. I've gone into comments of YouTubers with massive followings and been the BetterHelp commercial pops up and I'm like, you do know BetterHelp is a shitty company. Tons of controversy. Not controversy you should forget either because they have no ability to maintain trust. The only people that trust them are people who don't know. And most of that is just those people are people who trust companies. The fuck is wrong with you, right? So if you don't know, BetterHelp was selling their customers' information like all these other shitty companies that gather your information and then they sell it to scammers and all these other fucking telemarketers and whatnot. BetterHelp was doing that. Man, fuck you, BetterHelp. Oh wait, wrong screen. I did that shit a few days ago when I was streaming. Cut off all trades with Spain, please, including visits. Oh, what? Cut off all trade with Spain, please, including visits. President Trump is threatening to end U.S. trade with Spain after criticizing the NATO ally for refusing to commit to the alliance's new defense spending target. Spain is a wasted cause, President said. We don't want to do any trade business with Spain anymore, by the way. After NATO leaders agreed on a new goal for members to spend 5% of their GDP on defense, Spain was the only country to publicly push back, pushing for more flexibility, which Trump argues amounts to benefiting from NATO without paying its fair share. He's big on that. You want benefit? Your share needs to be paid by you. They don't participate. They don't pay. I don't want anything to do with Spain. If that's true, fuck it. America first. Bricks and minifigs. That's nuts. He's able to talk about it now. NASA shot an asteroid aftermath images. NASA is just doing dope shit, not telling anybody. Trump says U.S. will license Ukraine to make Patriot missiles. That's nuts. He's starting to come around. I think he ends up on Ukraine's side. Crazy that I even said that, but I think it's possible, given that Ukraine's showing that they have a good chance of winning, and there's just so much fucking corruption over there. My favorite is people calling out Ukraine's corruption as if Russia's just like virtuous as shit. It's all corruption over there. Manhattan high-rise stabilized after collapse scare. There's no way that shit is stabilized. That they said that shit. They reported that today, like hours ago. Even if they reported it at noon, that's 10 hours. You're telling me in 10 hours you guys were able to stabilize a high-rise in Manhattan? You're fucking lying. Like the top half of that building was collapsing. Would you slide a broomstick underneath a part that was saggy? Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. How Bitcoin and AI may explain this. Well, if you don't know Bitcoin and AI, then that shit's not going to help. Huh? Mitch McConnell's staff assures public his death will not prevent him from finishing his term. Mitch died last week, but he's gonna be sure to finish off. He's gonna be sure to finish off the work week. Oh, that's funny. Do you want to get kidnapped? By who? By these motherfuckers? You can kidnap me if I helped you. Yo, but look at this dude. Homo Naledi. That looks hilarious, though. Oh, shit. Police hunt down 21-year-old after he kills his best friend. What the fuck? British guys explore Chicago and discover why Americans love Goodwill. What are you talking about? Americans love Goodwill. Who gives a fuck about Goodwill? We don't love Goodwill. Isn't Goodwill just a store you donate your clothes to? And then they turn around and sell that shit? Nobody loves Goodwill. What are you talking? People love thrifting. Don't nobody give a fuck about Goodwill, bro. Eddie, yo, stop the cap. Eddie the Captain be capping. Time travel stuff. I love these dudes. These Koreans. They're the fucking best. The way they react to shit is just great. And then my man, Simon, what's his name? Simon West.
With the quality of the copper he
Simon
purchased,
something.
not to mention the poor treatment of his servant by the merchants, one
He
Air
always seems to
Nasir, that he
introduce
took the
himself. Let's see
time
if
to
he does
create
it.
a clay tablet and write out his grievance in cuneiform, a time-consuming task and not the easiest writing system to master exactly. Over 4,000 years later, poor Air Nasir is still known as the man who sold poor quality copper and mistreated the servants of his customers. Probably not exactly the legacy that he was hoping for. It's through writing like this, be it grand epics, mundane bills of sale, or complaints about poor service, that we learn about the ancient world, the customs, the religions, the philosophies, and the day-to-day life of your average person, be it a ruler, a merchant, or a slave. Translating the past is an ongoing process. Scholars have been at it for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and new discoveries are made all the time. However, every once in a while, be it through luck or new technology.
I don't know if he's gonna do it, but I think his name is like Simon Wessler or some shit like that. This dude works on like 7 different YouTube channels, like big channels that get
An exciting
views. He's on side projects. I think he's on a one called Mega Projects. A few of them. He's on a few. He's the hardest working man on YouTube. I swear it. Her problem with birds. That metal ass bird. Was that the shoebill bird or some shit? Only one is real. The Gobi Desert. Well, the life been living and the way we've been giving. Just a song that we write till we die. Some people write songs on living just right. I write mine on just getting by. I'll go on the wind, start writing the hymns that sound so sweet. Stone Age. Oh, that's crazy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo. You're fucking dead, man. You're fucking dead, man. But the troubles and the sins of the world that we're in knock me back off my feet. Sober. Gotta start living right. Oh, I was gonna go, but it ain't gonna happen tonight. So pour 'em down strong till I drown. And if I wake up tomorrow when that sun comes back round, I'll be wishing I was sober. The fact that this is a thumbnail for the actual movie. Zach Galifianakis is fucking hilarious. My wife hates him. I got it rolls. No, I don't. I got it rolled already. I can like. Destroyed his life for attention. Yeah. People do that. Oh shit! Speaker Mike Johnson is reportedly weighing legislation that would end the ability for pregnant women to enter the United States to obtain citizenship for their children. Wow. Yeah, birthright citizenship. Probably the stupidest thing we ever fucking did. Shout out to Babylon B for their post. Anybody born at anybody born at an Olive Garden is Italian. That's funny. Our planet, we lost 2 planets. Close quarter combat, baby. Cross the red line. Trump's patience has run out. Cut blow. He just said what no one was allowed to. Was allowed to? Asmongold. He's a fucking man. South American sun cult looked a lot like ancient Egyptians. Pushed to the edge. Why does it say I can type? Let me see this here. No shit. Oh. Excuse me? One second. Because for some reason I'm in incognito mode. That shit was like... Okay, there we go. We're back. Cool. I can write stuff. I know, stupid me, but still cool. 1 second. Let me see how much that picks up. Sorry about that. We're going to get together. The plan is to get together this weekend and do a little bit of streaming, go live. All right, so I can hear a little bit of... Shit, all right. Cool. Apparently jokes are no longer allowed to be simple, funny things you say that aren't supposed to be taken serious. Someone commented about racing and how Paul Walker was like this incredible driver. And then they started arguing about him dying. I'm like, well, Paul Walker wasn't driving. And they're like, that's my point. Like, if you're the best driver in the car, then why wouldn't you drive? And I'm like, the dude he was in the car with was a professional driver. I don't know if he was better than that guy. And then he went and got himself wrapped around a fucking tree. I'm like, what are we even arguing? What is the debate here? Oh, Scheisse. All right, where we at? The mission that taught NASA how to survive in space. I wonder why. Just a song that we write till we die. Some people write songs on living just right. I write mine on just getting by. Now go on with, start writing the hymns. That sounds so sweet. But the troubles and the sins of the world that we're in knock me back off my feet. I gotta get sober. Gotta start living right. I don't know how it's gonna go, but it ain't gonna happen tonight. We'll pour 'em down so will I drown. And if I wake up tomorrow, when that sun comes back around, I'll be wishing I was sober. There it is. We were just talking about it. He's on side projects. And that other show I was telling you about, that other channel, Mega Projects, right here underneath it. Same guy. Same glasses, same everything. Same guy for sure. Simon Wexler. Mega Projects, side projects. 3 days ago, 7 hours ago. I wouldn't be surprised if another one of his channels pops up and he did something in that one too. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Stick of Truth. South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. All right. Gotta start living right. I don't know how it's gonna go, but it ain't gonna happen tonight. For I'm damn strong till I drown. If I wake up tomorrow, when the sun comes back around, I'll be wishing I was sober. Damn, do I want to watch some crazy shit like that? I don't know if he's dangerous. I don't know how dangerous he is, but damn, that guy looks gay as shit. Gay? Crown Princess Ingrid Alexandra Norway. Functionally immortal. Oh. Egyptian national football team. The way we've been living. Just a song that we write till we die. Some people write songs on living just right. I write mine on just getting by. The kid that hacked America. I need to light this thing. Charizard. Flock camera's the worst thing ever made. Hi, we're gonna follow you all around outside. Oh, you're not driving? We don't care. We're still gonna know where you are because we're gonna track your phone too. But we're just not gonna say that part. Is Uranus actually Uranus actually a giant rock? Nah, it's not, bro. It's a giant void. Adventure time. Foreign money. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. Alright, I need a lighter. A lighter. New evidence life could exist on Titan. Not if it looks like that. Titan, the moon? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh man, what happened to it? I just realized it stopped sharing my screen. Sorry, guys. Just sitting here looking at me. That must have been rough. You had nothing else to look at but me. Like, why the fuck am I here? The Bored Ape Festival disaster. Reddit hunt for the Boston bomber. Yeah, that hunting for the Boston bomber, that was pretty nuts. Watching that unfold. Oh, perfect. Minoan tablet we still can't solve. Dinosaurs that we always get wrong. What dinosaur looked like that? Now I'm gonna have to start blocking all the BetterHelp ads. Fuck you, BetterHelp. Or don't. The fuck? DOJ warns Justice Department sent letters to election officials in all 50 states, District of Columbia, warning them. Warning them what? They could face criminal prosecution if they knowingly allow non-citizens to vote in federal election. Yo, California just called and said, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. We gonna do whatever we want. Craziest thing humanity's ever attempted in space. Craziest thing humanity ever attempted in space was probably Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Isotope test reactor, final safety. Wait, what? DOE, Department of Energy grants Oklo? What the hell's Oklo?
This is in Lockhart, Texas. It's not a power plant, but the reactor could eventually help build a domestic supply of radioisotopes. Those are radioactive materials used in things like cancer treatments, medical imaging, scientific research, and national defense. The facility is expected to reach what's called
We gotta figure out this
criticality
cancer
month,
treatment
meaning
shit.
It will achieve a self-sustaining nuclear chain.
We can't be
reaction.
like, oh, the same
Even
thing
with
we
the good news,
use.
though, Oklo stock
for
has taken
fucking-
kind of a big hit. The hit, it's
The
a
same
year-to-date
thing that
high back
decays
on
shit we
January
use
9th.
for
It was about
cancer
$115.72.
treatment. Like,
Since then, it has stumbled about
radioisotopes.
47% and
We
now
blast them
trades
shits at
at
fucking cancer cells.
$51.56 a share.
Come on,
So
there's no
how
way
does
we
the
don't have a
Oklo
better
CEO
fucking method.
conjoin its
T-cell
real-world
that shit.
progress with Wall Street's reality? Joining me now, first on Fox Business, live from the Groves Isotopes Test Reactor in Lockhart, is Oklo CEO Jake DeWitt. Jake,
I'm
first of all,
insane.
what
It's
does the
not a-
Department of Energy's
not a
approval mean for
energy
Oklo's advancement at this plant?
Yeah, it's very
plant
exciting.
or
It's the
nuclear,
first of this kind as
whatever
part
she
of a
said.
new regulatory capability that came out following the president's executive orders back in May of 2025. That
Did you
set
guys
forward a
record this
pathway
on
to
a
actually
Nokia
get
phone?
permitting to be able to build and operate plants at
Jesus
a much faster
Christ.
timescale than thought possible. And this is the first one sited on private land, fully commercially sourced.
Everything else
and
looks
run
great.
by
This
a
guy
private
looks like
entity
he's-
to actually reach that milestone. What's next?
He's stealing
is called the
internet from
readiness
the
review,
library down the street.
which we're going through and doing all the pre-operational work before we can actually turn this thing on in the next few weeks.
What does fast fission mean to the investor audience that's
She looks so
watching,
pissed
but
off.
aren't necessarily nuclear
What does
scientists?
fast fission mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it hits on something very interesting you mentioned kind of in the lead in. I think one of the really exciting things about our story is all the things we are doing, and so much of it is actually
This
just
is an
vastly
ad.
underappreciated. Right. And a lot of it
This
just
is an
goes
ad.
back to the focus we have on execution. I mean, look, this is one of, if not the fastest built nuclear reactor. That's a full
Yeah,
civil
it's your
construction
company. This is
project.
an
This
ad.
is
Bitch.
representative of
Fucking
what we're going to.
Fox, yo. Fox and CNN. You guys suck. Hey, check out this news. Something about this news seems a little weird. Then this jerk off is like, yeah, we're doing something really great here. I'm like, you're associated with this. This is your shit. Got it. It's like watching or reading a Forbes list story where they talk about somebody who's new on the scene, this new entrepreneur, new on the scene, breaking the mold. That story costs like $1,500. $1,500, you can get a op-ed about you put into Forbes. It's not that expensive. I mean, the price might be wrong, but you'd be surprised with how cheap it is for a publisher like Forbes. That's nuts. And you can get on there and they'll say whatever bullshit you send them. This guy, controversy. So did he lose, or is he like leaving on like his own accord? Because it seems like everyone, like all the leftists, want him to stay. All the Democrats in his party, they're just like, don't go. I think Bernie Sanders or something was just like, I hope he doesn't go. And then what was the old guy who wrote scary movies? Stephen. No, not Hawking. Hawking was a smart guy. Stephen, the guy named Stephen who writes the scary movies, was mentioning some shit about hoping this guy sticks around. But I hear like horrible shit about this guy. He's got like rape allegations on him, like Nazi tattoos. I guess he's like a vet who's like an idiot. Just like E4 Mafia. Now he wants to be in charge of some shit. But I don't know anything about it. I don't give a shit about it. Just what I heard. Crimea getting hammered. Ukraine knocked out all the choke points. Oh, is knocking out all the choke points. Mitch McConnell staff. Oh yeah, I already read that one. Mitch McConnell fucking dying. Talking about it won't prevent him from finishing his work. Worst trend ever. The worst trend ever. Anytime I see like dirt bikes or bikes out here, I'm just assuming, and they're wearing a shiesty, I'm like, I hope you get hit by a fucking car. So we already know what they're doing. Rorschach. Is that a mystery, man?
Where's my face?
It is.
Don't kill me!
I've never seen mystery.
Your turn, Doctor.
The original Dark
Tell me.
Hero movie.
What do you see?
Oh, bye guys.
Rorschach.
Why do they come in
Daniel.
together and leave together?
Miss Jupiter, excuse me. Have to visit men's room.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
The California area codes have already started showing up. It's just that the conversations are evolving. The wealth doesn't hide here. It just doesn't feel the need to announce itself. And I really think what we're seeing now with AI founders, with the era of liquidity, with SpaceX, is a generation that's used to speed and being very public. We've all grown up in the spotlight, if you will, with social media. But many are also reaching a stage where I think they value discretion.
What's happening now is there's going to be this, this transitional event with the IPO where executives are finally going to see probably the biggest cash day most of them have ever seen in their lives. And many of them are not making millions, they're making tens of millions overnight. And I think that's going to have them thinking long and hard about South Florida and Miami in particular. We get that Malcolm Gladwell tipping effect where you almost have to be in Miami because a lot of your friends and family and neighbors are moving here. We saw that happen in New York. I think we're going to see the same thing happen out of California. I think what we're seeing here is a shock in a positive way to the financial balance sheets of individuals, particularly out in California, where, I think they're going to be moving in a matter of months and not years or decades.
It will take a few months or a year to really see the difference. Those that are in Silicon Valley and they exit through an IPO, but who is leading those IPOs? those that are leading the IPOs are really based in New York, because those are the Wall Street guys that are running the IPOs for the high-tech companies, and they are making huge bonuses by running the IPOs. You speak about Silicon Valley, but SpaceX is not in Silicon Valley.
I don't think it's a clash with our culture. Having newcomers here with wealth is really a calibration. Fort Lauderdale has always attracted wealth that's active, it's global, it's highly productive. It's just not performative. My elevator pitch is simple. If you're building a company at scale, you need three things. You need access, you need talent, and you need a quality of life that sustains performance of all of that.
But the point is, it's all about talent, right? They're all going after the talent. What Florida is still lacking, and it's going to take time, is to attract the talent. The reverse of it is absolutely, I mean, Silicon Valley is absolutely a boring space, a place to live compared to Miami. How can you even compare between living in Miami and Silicon Valley? So, Miami is so much more dynamic and great restaurants and great lifestyle and so on.
California
and so forth.
sucks.
It's too early
How can
to
you
tell.
even compare
I think it's a bit too optimistic to think at this point of time that Florida will become the new Silicon Valley.
What's interesting though is, middle management, at SpaceX and all these other companies, middle managers are, have wealth creation that could be 25, 50, 100 million. So what we would historically think of as a middle manager earning a decent living, building wealth slowly over time, it's a game changer. So as they move here and can afford to be here, a lot of other folks are going to follow suit. It's going to be a boom for them, the housing market down here in South Florida.
You can build your headquarters here and actually enjoy running it. And if you need a place to dock the yacht, we can handle that too.
Do you believe the U.S. did everything it could to end the Iran conflict? President Trump says the U.S.-Iran conflict is effectively over after a new round of attacks in and around the Strait of Hormuz. No, of course not. You don't, in order to do everything you can do, you have to be doing things that people don't want you to do. We can barely get these guys to do the things we want them to do, let alone get them to do anything else.
Slightly infamous on the internet for essentially doing exactly what we saw over and over again.
Hey, rest in peace, Pop Smoke.
And he just went from these countless stupid stunts to then later on pivoting to gambling vlogs. He's essentially lost a decade of his life chasing internet fame in the worst way possible, and his decisions have left him bankrupt with nothing to show for other than hundreds of videos showing a misled man chasing internet fame. Originally, as you just saw, his claim to fame was getting retail jobs and creating absolute chaos for his fellow employees to clean up. But naturally, that didn't last too long because he ran out of jobs and the internet got bored with it. But when that attention phased out, he became desperate again. And this whole time, he's been vlogging on his YouTube channel.
They don't want to deal with him,
he then
so they
started
want
to
to
share that he is an extreme gambling addict and has jumped from minimum wage job to minimum wage job, but was currently struggling to get a new job. But finally, he got one at Subway. And instead of using that job to provide himself with, a little bit of security while maybe going to community college or doing anything to increase his earning potential, get this. He decided to film a rap music video at the restaurant.
Chance, my $20 loss turned to 50 grand. If you never faced addiction, you won't comprehend.
And to make things worse, this is how he tried to promote it. Excuse me, what are you doing? Buddy, really? But that wasn't it. He had another trick up his sleeve. He tried to get Meek Mill's attention with this.
At Meek Mill. Tell Meek Mill to sign the Dream Chasers. At Meek Mill. Let him know. I'm trying to get signed to Dream Chasers. For this Subway, all of this Subway, bro. At Meek Mill, man. Let him know. I'm trying to sign the Dream Chasers, bro.
Talk about destroying your life with like literally zero upside. So I'm sure the question you have is, did he finally blow up and get his rap career off the ground? Absolutely not. Because let's be real, the only thing you should be rapping in Subway are the subs. Obviously, he was fired and ended up job searching again, found a new job and continued vlogging his life. And sadly for him, it was going nowhere. He continued gambling aggressively in the worst way possible, and I guess started this whole gambling vlog arc. And this thing is just, it's horrifying to watch. It is brutal. I feel like the only thing positive with the series is it really shows you the real
Steve Sosnick, Interactive Brokers Chief Strategist. And Steve, listen, I know it's great for your business, but you also are concerned about retail investors who may not understand some of the warning signs that they should be looking at with respect to going all in on every dip.
Well, thank you, Charles, for bringing it up that way, because my feeling is, you can't fight a trend. You can't fight the tape. That's an old expression that holds a lot of water. But what you always should be doing is thinking about, like, when might the trend be changing? How am I going to be sensitive to it? And so buying the dip has worked essentially almost in a foolproof manner for the better part of, call it 10 plus years, probably since the global financial crisis.
I think you go back to March of 2009. We've had some, but essentially, if you bought the dip since then, you've done extraordinarily well.
You've tended to do very well. And
if you bought the dip, you tend to do, motherfucker, you don't know it's a dip until after. Saying it like we choosing to buy the dip or not. WNBA player suspended for not assaulting Caitlin Clark. Hell yeah. Do you think parents should be held legally responsible when their kids participate in violent teen takeovers? Hell yeah. I think those kids should be punished, and I think those parents should be held financially responsible. In addition to legally responsible, of course. But absolutely.
Mira esto.
"27-year-old CEO, nuclear startup." I don't know about that. Bankruptcies leave some solar company. Bankruptcies leave some solar customers with broken panels. Well, gas is about to go back up.
Big developments in the last hour. Just touching on what you just said, 2nd Avenue now back open. As you can see, the traffic behind me. That is one thing. This is all surrounding that building in question. We'll show it to you right now. That building in question right behind me. It is 235 East 42nd Street. We now know, according to DOB, what the work inside of that building looks like. First, we want to show you what things looked like yesterday as the columns on the 21st floor buckled under the weight of the new construction, as this building is in the process of being converted from commercial to residential use. Now, today, crews went floor by floor and reinforced the structure with steel beams, and we have pictures of that to physically prop up those sagging floors. The mayor told us earlier the building is now stable.
I want to confirm for all New Yorkers that there has been no additional movement of the structure since yesterday morning. This continues to be monitored as that emergency work is underway.
So what are they exactly doing? Well, Skyfox saw the workers on site today installing temporary shoring and end beams to floors 17 through 24. This is a 37-story building. Video from 44th Street, which reopened earlier this afternoon, shows the bent beams through the windows. On the left side, there's a panel that appears to be missing, and it's not clear at this time if that was part of the falling debris that led to those 911 calls yesterday. While stabilizing the building is a top priority. We did get a chance to speak with a structural engineer to try and understand what happened here.
In order for a column to bend like that, a floor must have dropped, right? So you're going to want to get that back up. And you can use shores. We've used 50-ton, 100-ton jacks in the past to push things back up and put a new column in that spot where it's broken, where it's bent.
So best we can tell, the temporary work is well underway. Next, Natasha, comes the big investigation into how this happened. They're going to be looking at the construction plans to see if any of this could have been avoided.
To see if any of it could have been avoided. Beams are bent. Of course there's something that could have been done for this to be avoided. Why doesn't it? All right, well, I'm not going to watch it then. No way.
Americans are looking for more bang for their buck, and red states are winning the migration competition. New IRS data shows billions are moving out of high tax areas and into high growth states like, well, you guessed it, the Sun Belt. Oh, guess what? Shocking. Texas and Florida leading the nation in net inbound migration between 2022 and 2023. That is the latest available number. Meanwhile, you might have guessed this one as well. California recorded the nation's largest net outbound migration, more than 100,000 income tax filers and nearly $12 billion in taxable income heading for the exit in a single year. New York, not far behind. Katrina, I think what I guess is surprising to me, I thought this could maybe be a COVID thing, 2020, 2021. But this data shows it's 2022 and 2023. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's accelerating or decelerating, but the trend is still very much intact. And I think people in COVID realized I can go where I want, and it's still going on. And it's like 4 years post-COVID.
And Taylor, to your point, we thought during COVID, okay, this is temporary, but this time around,
fuck are
it's
y'all
permanent
talking about
because
COVID?
these CEOs are moving their businesses, they're moving their executives.
Why the fuck are we talking
Seeing it,
about
and
COVID?
evidence
This
of that
has
is
nothing to
also
do
the
with
private
COVID.
school system in Florida.
There's nothing to do with COVID.
You literally
This
have
has
to
to
wait
do with
2 or 3
taxes.
years to get your child into the school system there.
This
And
has to
so
do with,
as a
like,
result of that, the
politicians like
Florida elected
Mamdani.
officials are now trying to improve the public school system in Florida, which shows you just how important the ecosystem that these billionaires that migrate there create. They're leaving New
until the
York, they're leaving
billionaires leave the
California,
states that all these
and
people who
Florida is
can't
continuing
beat
to
the
prosper as a
billionaires
result of that. Our
live in.
luxury market is on fire.
And
I
all
mean,
that
I
revenue
myself
leaves,
cannot
and
believe
then
these
these people are
prices.
paying higher
60 million,
taxes.
70 million, 100 million. You're seeing
getting
it
less
in
shit.
Miami, you're seeing it in Palm
They're
Beach.
gonna be more
And
upset with
the question everyone asks is it real? Is it real? And
this too.
you're seeing that competitive
Oh, they
nature in the
left and they made us pay
ultra
for all this
luxury
shit,
market.
like,
Now, what about the first time home buyers? That's a
You'll
problem.
never be happy.
Because the cost of everything is so incredibly expensive. And also the cost of things in Florida is also, continuing to increase. But as a whole, I would say Florida is on fire.
Brian, you've heard me talk about this before, and I originally wasn't sure if you moved to Florida, I assumed you would not take your vote with you. Like if you moved to Florida, you continue, you change your vote, you vote red because that's why you left New York and Massachusetts is because you'd always voted blue.
Right.
But I'm wondering if more and more we're hearing anecdotes about a rural suburb in Texas that has just flipped blue for the first time on the local city council. And it starts local and then it really starts to spread. And I'm sort of wondering long term how you think shifts are
Massachusetts
going.
used to
I would
be
be very nervous about this
Mhm.
if I was living in Texas,
Massachusetts
if I
used
was
to have
living
a
in
Republican
Florida, if I was
governor.
living in Tennessee. I would be very nervous about it. Yes, people are bringing their money. That's great. There'll be some economic benefits to that. But they're coming from states that they lived in that had a strong downward slide to leftism and socialism. Are they completely leaving that behind when they cross the border? I think, and I haven't seen this, but I don't know what states like Florida or Texas are doing to left proof themselves with all these new migrants. I just don't know what they're doing, but I'd be very nervous about it. And it would be super
Sounds like
tragic
Texas is
if
getting
10
fucked.
years down the road,
I keep seeing videos
Texas was like super
Texas
purple
having
tending
issues
toward
with-
blue because they got a lot of people coming with a lot of money, but with the same old ideas. And they kind of tolerated this. Oh yeah, James
Muslim.
Tallarico, he's a
Muslim
moderate.
people.
Let's elect him, right? And then he's got 17 genders for God or whatever the deal is with him. That kind of stuff happens. So if you're in these places, man, you better be vigilant about the money they're bringing and the politics they're bringing.
Yeah, Jackie Dagan, weigh in.
I can just say here in New York, when Mamdani was elected, there was this sort of undertone conversation. Oh, don't worry about it. Everybody who left already. Nobody else is really going to leave. Well, if you walk around the streets of New York and see what I see every day, you would understand why there are still people who might not have wanted to leave, but see this and say, I got to get out of here. And to your point, post-COVID, so many people have options with flexibility at work that they are able to do that. And people are exercising that option. I've talked to a few people who have told me, I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to abandon New York, but taxation policies, my safety is at stake. And just the city is turning into a pit of squalor. And I just can't live here anymore. So just when you thought nobody else could leave, if you make it bad enough, they will leave and find a way to go
Who
have
the
a better
fuck
life.
said? Who said anyone who was going to leave already
Well,
left?
New York, I had a conversation with somebody
That's
the other day.
that's a forever
and,
revolving door.
Loves
always
New
gonna be
York,
people leaving,
loves
there's always gonna
living
be people
here. Hadn't seen any negative impact from Mayor
thing
Mamdani. And I was like, well,
is the
early
increase
early
of-
90s, more than 2,200 people got murdered in this city. So it could get a lot worse. You just wait.
the increases that are more than
I want to
normal.
talk about the states
norm.
that these people are leaving, because those states' financials will get worse and worse and worse, and the living conditions will also get worse and worse and worse. Because what we've seen is you get the Detroit, swirl down the toilet bowl, where the population leaves and they've
fuck is
got
a
no
Detroit
one
swirl?
left to tax. So then the tax base leaves. And so then they try to screw the people who are left there. and you wind up, if not technically bankrupt, theoretically, you are bankrupt. If you look at, like, Washington State introduced its first state income tax this year. Oh, it's only for millionaires. Oh, it only hits 21,000 people. Oh, it's less than 1% of the state population. But these states never, ever cut their spending. In fact, they want to hand out money to illegal migrants and people who don't need or deserve taxpayer spending. So they don't cut, they tax, and then they wind up having to tax lower the threshold for these new and
They
broadening
just become
taxes.
so comfortable with
And
the
so
idea
if your
of
folks are
taxes
leaving your
being
state,
okay,
it just
being acceptable.
everybody starts get hit, and then more and more people leave, and you just wind up with just a bigger hellhole than these places already are.
Ceasefire's over. Trump said they're gonna destroy Cargo. Oh hell no! Every time I see one of these ads, Roblox or Better Health, they're the fucking worst. What's the deal with H3? Helium-3. I played a game called No Man's Sky. And anyway, played a game called No Man's Sky. And that's where I learned all these chemicals and compounds. And I learned about helium, tritium, and all these. Tritium. Wait. It's not iridium. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like deuterium or something. It's like 1H, 2H, 3H. I guess tritium decays into helium-3. So when I saw that up here, I thought of No Man's Sky. It's such a good game. That game came out and it was a miss. There was complaints because what they did was they made this game and they were like, we're going to make the biggest game ever in terms of exploration. So not like fucking a Call of Duty sized game, but in terms of like your ability to go out and explore. They had literally a universe full of galaxies. You could travel to the center of the universe in that game. Such an amazing game. And if you did, you could go like to different, I guess I could say you could go to different universes, but there's all these different systems you could go to, different star systems you could go to. different color star systems, the red stars, blue stars, white stars, yellow stars, all that shit. And it was randomly generated. So it was like 1 trillion different was it galaxies or some shit that you could visit. Something retarded like that. It's like 1 trillion galaxies or 1 trillion universes. And in the beginning, people were complaining because it was so massive that you would go to all these planets, you would travel to all these different solar systems, and it would feel really empty. They have a minimum of 2 planets in a system, solar system, when you get there, and then a maximum of like, I think 5 or 6. And then, you know, they'll have the sun or they'll have the star there and whatever else. And you'd go there and people would be, you know, 4 or 5 planets. You go check the different planets out, you land on it. Maybe there's life. There would be life, flora, fauna, and mineral. So you could, you know, all different types of wildlife, all different types of plant life, and all different types of rocks. And it was really empty at first. So people were complaining about how you could play the game and it would just feel like there was nothing out there. A bunch of different planets and shit, but the planets just all felt really empty. And so they worked on it and they did such an amazing job with it. The game just felt brand new. And so I started playing the game and it had already been out for some time. And it was massive. And it did not feel empty. We'd go to these planets and there would be all this different wildlife there. And, you know, some planets didn't have any wildlife. But there were all different types of planet. You go on tech planets, lush planets, you know, what were they? Monochrome planets. Just insane shit. Planets that were like 2 planets right next to each other. You could jump from one planet to the other planet, like they were colliding. Binary star systems. Then there were ships. You could fly ships like on the planet. They were, you know, little motorcycle type ships, all the way up to like fighter jet size ships, and then up to these like Navy battleship size ships, to then these ships that were like the size of fucking buildings. I mean, even bigger than that. It was just like a colony living in it. Game was nuts. And we played these fucking games for, this one in particular, we played this thing for like a year, maybe 2. And the updates it would have were all free and super impressive. Always fixing shit. If they broke shit, they fixed it in time. They really gave a fuck, to the point where that game's been out for like 5 or 10 years, some shit crazy. And it is just going nuts. People come back to the game after not having played it for a year and they're like, what the fuck is all this? New class ships, new everything. They expand so much that the state that the game's in right now is incredible. The storyline, super good. Their community's really good. They have these weekly and monthly events, you know, the holiday events. Fucking, they're super cool. The missions they do are super cool. The rewards are dope. Just everything they do. They have a really good setup where some rewards cannot be gotten unless you're there for the mission. So you have people that are like, you're like, oh shit, yo, that armor looks sick. Where'd you get that? Where can I buy that? And they're like, you can't. You would have had to have done this mission that we did, the, you know, Christmas mission in 2023. Like some real world shit. Oh, sick coin. Where you get that? They didn't make it anymore. You would have to have served in the unit and during this deployment or whatever. So game is so incredibly good. Super detailed, with the chemical part of it. They did a really good job with science. They scienced the fuck out of that game. Such a fun game. I would highly recommend that game to anybody who's really into like learning mind games that they have major learning curves, and it takes a lot for you to get good and understand the game. I'm big into those kind of games. If you have a game that you pop it in and we can pretty much just go from there, I'm probably not going to enjoy it too much, right? I need some struggle in that aspect. Got here. Triple murder ambush. People are fucking crazy. Elon Musk is insane. Controversy aside, like political bullshit aside, the shit that this dude's doing, every time they talk about an update on what he's got going on, it's another piece of the puzzle that becomes realized. I shit you not. It's like at first it was like Tesla and the Boring Company and SpaceX. It was like those three, right? And then they were like doing like solar panels and shit like that because they were trying to work out battery, and they were trying to figure out battery. Oh shit. They were trying to figure out battery and which is storing energy, and then capturing the energy, which is the solar. And at first I wasn't thinking of it like that. I was just thinking these are the companies he owns, and as sporadic as it is, it just worked. Kind of thought that was part of what made it work, right? Like some companies do some weird shit and you're like, why the fuck is this company involved? Michelin star company, the Michelin star, right? When you find out Michelin stars are granted by Michelin Tire Company, you're like, why the fuck is Michelin Tire giving restaurants star ratings or any ratings? And why the fuck are restaurants fighting hand over foot to try and get these things? And then you realize, well, the reason is, the logic there is that there was a book that they would release showing you the best places to eat in the area, and across America. And so anybody who wanted to do a road trip or anybody who wanted to travel, this is kind of how you learn about the local areas around the country. It was like the yellow books, but instead of it being phone numbers, it was business, right? I forgot what the fuck I was even talking about. I need to smoke the second one because I'm losing my shit here. Genuinely just fucking forgot what I was talking about. I don't even remember the last thing I said about it. Gavin Newsom, wiretap has him spiraling. Wonder how that's going for him. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Elon. So yeah, he had these separate companies. And I was just looking at it like, dude had companies. They hit, some places like the Michelin, as I was explaining. It makes sense why a company would have random shit and why it works. But with Elon, I didn't know the logic. I couldn't see it, couldn't put it together. And then it happened. I started seeing all the shit he was doing with going to space and talking about going to Mars and then focusing on the rockets, making them reusable. I was like, that's super interesting, right? Because that was never an idea. Because you think of a rocket. I don't know why, now that it's possible, I guess, the idea of it just, I don't know, it's fluid like that, but a rocket not being reusable is insane. That is insane. But I guess, obviously, hindsight's 2020, and you know, knowing better is knowing better, and it works both ways. Because diapers used to be not disposable. You were wrapping a kid in a rag, and then they were blowing their fucking stomach up the back, and then you were putting that in the dirty clothes. Or probably not. You were washing it probably immediately. Found him. But anyway, so he went from like the 3 companies to all of a sudden talking about all the shit he was doing. And then it started to click. It's like SpaceX works on traveling to space. This whole thing was about getting the AI data, getting the AI into space is what all of this was about. And this is how he gets his data center. And now he makes money off of compute, off of other companies. And he is the god of AI right now. So effectively what he's doing is he's going to build his base on Mars using his rockets. So he's got the travel part taken care of. He's got electric vehicles that can work autonomously. So he's got the logistics on the moon taken care of. He has AI, which means he can make his warehouse on the moon and his data center on the moon, or his warehouse to build said things on the moon. He has Neuralink to connect human beings to technology with an interface integrated into the human anatomy. He has Starlink to connect across space. So if you wanted to, have someone implant Neuralink, then use Starlink to connect them to the AI in the moon. Then those robots that they just finished making can be sent to the moon to work in those bases that they have on the moon. So now we have workers and management. So no human being needs to even be on the moon for this to happen. You have workers and management because you can manage the robots from Earth using Neuralink, or AI, or Neuralink with AI's assistance. At that point, one person can run 200 agents plus, however much is needed. And then he has his technology to capture energy, right? So he has solar. He's working on nuclear now. The Boring Company, that was probably one of his biggest failures, according to, everybody, is now being revealed as one of the super necessary things because you have to be able to dig holes in space. You're going to have to dig holes for mining and all that. And so the Boring Company was effectively learning everything they needed to learn while in California. And now they have, what they ended up doing was the industry, the boring industry is usually very custom in that they build machines specific for the job. And then when the job's done, they usually just bury the machine and then build the rest of the, or they build, they bury the machine in a hole underneath the tunnel, effectively, you know, paving over it, and then boom, the tunnel lives above the boring machine, and it's gone, it's lost. So that multi-million-dollar machine is not reusable. He made that reusable. Not only did he make it reusable, he made it standardized so that one boring machine can be moved to any location, and then you can put on whatever cap you need for whatever job you're doing. Then when you're done, you can remove the cap and take the machine back, bring it to another place. So simple reusability allows him these massive contracts here on Earth with companies, European companies and all these other companies that are doing a ton of boring right now and digging tunnels and bridges and whatnot to connect different parts of their country. And then on the moon, you're going to need that same ability, that same technology. So that gets taken care of. He's building the AI data centers. He wants to build his AI data centers in space. And he wants the biggest rockets. He will have access to everyone and anyone who wants internet without having to have, you know, a home with a full connection to the mainframe, if you will, or to the infrastructure of the city. Because it's like the city has to go through this whole fiber optics thing and then connect your house to the system. And when this shit first rolled out, it sucked. There was a ton of construction of bringing, and there was voting and all this shit, and bringing it in meant, you know, ripping up ground. There was a ton of construction. A lot of it probably forgotten now, but definitely happened. That same shit will have to happen again. So like, then then he took Twitter, and people are like, well, what about that? Well, he can communicate to the entire world on Twitter. Bro can communicate with the entire, he has his own national broadcast system on Twitter. So yeah, I think his fucking plan so far has been pretty brilliant. Oh, I gotta look into that. I didn't hear about that. Elon's 1-hour delivery plan. Airport will transform a continent. That thing is beautiful.
This mega airport is about to change the world of travel forever. It costs a whopping $12.5 billion, but you won't find it in America, Europe, or Asia. Over in East Africa, Ethiopia has begun work on the biggest aviation project in the
airport ain't
continent's
gonna
history.
change shit.
While places like Cairo International and OR Tambo are well-established hubs,
Who the fuck
welcoming
paid
20
for
to 30 million passengers
Who
each
gave
year,
them $12.5
Bishoftu airports
billion?
will soar above those figures. Forget 30 million. Ethiopia's new hub is preparing for a staggering
Tell me
110
Ethiopia
million
paid for that
travelers
shit through
every
taxes or
year.
something.
That's millions more than Heathrow, Istanbul, Dubai, or even Hartsfield-Jackson. It's literally preparing to become the busiest airports we've ever seen. Africa has one of the world's fastest growing aviation markets. You might even go as far to say it's taking off.
Now, for a bit of context, within the industry, one of the key ways of measuring growth is airline capacity, which basically boils down to the number of seats being flown. If an airport can increase its capacity by opening up more slots or welcoming bigger planes, then it's a sign that things are on the up. And in Africa, those stats are on a serious upward trajectory.
Between May 2025 and May 2026, airline capacity for the continent rose by 6.7%, which is around 24 million seats. During the same period, airline capacity in Southeast Asia grew by 1.7%. Europe saw a 2% increase, and worldwide, the average was just 1%. So 6.7% is huge. Over the next 20 years, Africa's aviation market is forecast to grow by more than 4% year on year. The market's rife with long-term opportunity. Hundreds of millions more passengers are set to take to the skies over the coming decades. And that's not a coincidence.
According to who?
Agenda 2063 is a 50-year blueprint to transform Africa into a global
according to
powerhouse.
Africa.
The plan aims to,
Okay.
amongst other things, improve infrastructure and visa-free travel across the continent for its citizens. Several nations are already easing entry rules to boost tourism and increase intracontinental travel. In fact, some countries no longer ask African citizens to hold a visa at all. Now, there's huge evidence of this working elsewhere, such as in the Schengen area.
But as demand and airline capacity increases, the travel hubs need to grow in tandem. As things stand, only 19% of intra-African routes feature direct flights. And if you look across the
This shit
continent,
remind me of
there's
that
no real hub.
City of the Future.
North America
Where
has
Akon is
Hartsfield-Jackson. Europe has Heathrow. South America has Guarulhos. Asia has Dubai International.
supposed to be
And
done in, like,
Oceania has Sydney Airport. It kind of really is time that
2026 or
Africa
something.
had a giant of its own.
And it'll definitely need one key controversial amenity: public airport Wi-Fi, which, as a verified airport dad myself, I know
Oh, you
is a
daddy
big
get stoned.
no-go area. They're open networks, also known as a literal gold mine for people trying to hack my data. And there's already a world of fake data on me out there as it is. We've all seen the horror stories of people being scammed or having their identities stolen. I literally got a spam call
Airport
today because
Wi-Fi?
my details were contained in a data leak. Great. But that'll soon be a thing of the past because I've just signed up to Incogni. There's an entire industry built on collecting and selling our personal data online. And
So
most people
before
don't
you
even realize
get
their data is on those
tracked
sites until they've been scammed.
into
And when I
that
say data, I mean everything
of
from your
safety
full
from
name and
going
shopping
to
habits
Incogni,
to your email and
I wanna
sometimes
ask
even
you
your home
this.
address. Incogni
How does Incogni
scours the
know
internet for any of your personal information and
if
has
the
it taken
places
down
that they're
before
asking
any
have
nefarious groups can get hold of it. But what if I come across a website featuring my information
looking
that Incogni hasn't got to yet? Well, with their unlimited and family unlimited plans,
That's
I can use the
confusing, I'm
custom
asking.
removal feature
How
to
does
highlight
Incogni
a link,
visit a site
add it to the list, and then someone at Incogni
figure
will
out
handle the work for me.
if
It
that
really
site
is
has your
as simple
information?
as that. With so many hackers, scammers, and businesses trying to make money from your data, it's
to do
never
an
been
inquiry.
more important to make sure you're properly protected online. And that is where Incogni comes in. You can scan the QR code on screen or click the link below to get a massive 60%
Effectively,
off
you could
their
think of it
annual
like this.
plan
They
using my
would
code, the
get in
B1M.
contact with
Anyway,
the
while
company,
they're busy
right?
wiping my personal information
then
from
ask
the
the
internet,
company
please
by
ensure your
giving
seat
them
back
my
is in the upright
information
position, your tray table is
saying,
stowed,
"Do you
and your
have
window
this
blind is
information
open.
on your servers?"
Because we're about to land back
And
in
the company would
Ethiopia.
Bishoftu Airport is about
And this is
more
off
than just
program, saying
creating a massive travel hub that's envied around the
communicate
world.
back.
There's an
saying,
element of
"No, we don't."
practicality at play.
And then
Ethiopia's
cut
current
everything
key
and
hub
move on
is
to the next.
Addis Ababa Bole International, which welcomes more than 20 million passengers
That
each
last
year.
place that said, "No, we don't."
But while that's an
They probably
impressive
would say,
number
right,
in its
they
own
don't have
right,
your information,
similar
so we'll
to
hold
Tampa
on to that.
International or Budapest, Addis Ababa Bole
thing
is set to hit capacity within the next few years. So to retake Ethiopia's reputation in the aviation
just gave them
market
my
to
fucking
the next
information.
level, it needs to substantially
Every one of these
redevelop
sites
its
that does
existing
that.
airports. And
Protects your
that's a
information.
problem.
If you look at its location, you'll notice that Addis Ababa Bole faces the
Order for
same
them to
issue
get that
as airports
information
in
to
Sydney,
website has the
Mumbai,
information
London,
they have.
and more or less any major city. It's
Think about that the
trapped
next time you
in.
decide you want to get that.
Now, as you can imagine, expanding the existing footprint would be more than a little bit disruptive. Which brings us to Bishoftu. About 35 kilometers
mention there's a
away, the
couple
new
of
site
companies
is
that
less densely
actually sell your
populated, which makes it the perfect location to construct a
So the guys that
$12.5
own
billion new
the company
airport,
that asks
supported
for the
by
data
about
to be taken down,
$4.5 billion
and they'll
of funding
also
from
be,
Ethiopian Airlines. A further
the guys
$8 billion is yet to be agreed, although negotiations
the
continue with the
scamming.
likes of the US
So it'll
and
be them
China.
asking themselves to
The
take it
aim
down,
with
and then being
Bishoftu
like,
International
"I got you,
is
bro."
to create a global
Send you the
travel
proof
hub
they did it. And you're like, "Oh,
connecting
thank God."
Africa,
And they're like,
Asia,
"They
the Middle
actually-
East, and
they
Europe.
do that
Basically,
every month.
Ethiopia has
This
looked
thing
at the
works
work
really well.
that places like
You're doing great.
Dubai and Istanbul have done to create enormous, well-connected airports that process millions of people and huge amounts of cargo every year. And it's decided it wants a piece of that action.
While
I'm outta
Bishoftu will eventually welcome up to
You guys have a good night. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully tomorrow I can get on a little earlier during the day when people are actually on. But for those of you who stop by, I appreciate you. We'll give this a shot tomorrow. I'll see you guys on the next one. NPC out.